Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Gregory Laporte from Gamer Fit Nation, and I'm here with my man Tyler, and we're here to talk about Age of Wushu, the game being promoted by master martial arts legend Jet Li. I mean, it's being recommended by Jet Li, so I mean, what you can't possibly go wrong. So I'm gonna let Tyler talk a little bit about the game and give us a rundown about what players can expect from Age of Wushu. So Tyler, explain the game to us first.
It's the world's first true Wuxia based game, which basically means it's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or anything with Jet Li, but other than Expendables, anything from China. It's unlike traditional MMOs, it's no classes and no levels, which means you're not going to be a tank or a mage or a healer or anything like that. You join one of the 8 schools of Kung Fu at the beginning: Shaolin, Imai, Tangman, Wu-Tang, and from that you can pick skills up, and from that school then you can steal skills from other schools, quit the school you're in, go to that school, and then learn other skills. But you can learn almost every single skill in the game and then mix and match it like ancient martial artists would do, so they would create their own form of Kung Fu. And then without levels, you get experience from doing almost anything. Somebody got experience out there in the demo station by swimming, and you use that collected experience to cultivate those individual skills. If I really love this mantis strike to my friend's face, I can cultivate the crap out of that until it's really powerful. And that's where the leveling up comes in, is by leveling up certain skills.
So, I mean, now you guys have Jet Li as the global spokesperson for the game. Now, how far did he come with, within fruition of the game, development or kung fu style, or his input as being a martial artist affect the game and how the combat and the gameplay plays out?
They basically developed the game from our Chinese developer. We developed it, and through stories and folklore and martial arts in general that they've known and grown up with, they made this game. The culture around Wushu of being an honorable hero and the Kung Fu style. And they met with Wushu masters for the mo-capping of the sword play and the staff work. And they took to Jet Li, who is probably the most recognizable Wushu master. There's pictures of him doing it 9 years old in front of the White House. He's been doing it for so long, and he's so renowned for it. And he's just like, well, I like this. It stays true to everything I believe as a Wushu master, so I will endorse your game. He didn't step in and do the Kung Fu for the game, but he said, this is how it's supposed to look. I approve this message, basically, is how it came down to.
So now tell me, with this being an MMO, you mentioned earlier before that, you can go to the different schools, you can kind of, get their skills, betray the school, battle, I assume you could battle other masters and other schools and stuff like that.
There's 100 versus 100 school battles at a time.
So 100. So my only question is, I know there's a lot of martial arts movies that talk about Wushu and Wing Chun and all those other martial arts in the schools and the battles that they had during specific times in history. Is there any sort of inspiration from, I mean, I know you mentioned the folklore and all the other stuff, but is there any inspiration from modern day events that has been kind of incorporated into this game, or that you've kind of seen a little inkling of it in this game, or something of that nature?
There are those. I mean, I guess modern day would be 1900s. They had some big Wuxia detective novels that basically like noir, and the content in the game, the stories are fairly original, developed by our team, but they pull from those stories and some movies that you may have seen, bits and elements that were true to that Wushu style. That's why you aren't going to see a dragon fly in, because when in an ancient martial arts movie have you seen a dragon fly in or a minotaur attack? No, these are humans who their powers come from their rage or their passion for this thing. There's a boss in a dungeon who looks like a normal man, but he's so filled with rage because his entire village was ransacked by bandits that he's just become an evil person who's just hell-bent on destroying everybody, and he doesn't trust humanity. So he's just built with all this strength and power from that.
All right, now, so is there a main antagonist of the game? I mean, overall, is it just you just play the game, or is there a main campaign or story arc of, or maybe you're trying to become the greatest master in the whole world, or maybe you're trying to seek revenge for something that happened in your past? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Because there aren't classes or races particularly where you can start out as or pick a new town, there are a set of stories that you do have a main story task and chapters that go in that. One of them is you've lost your sister so many years ago, and then a mysterious woman has appeared in town, and you're trying to find out who this woman is and follow her around, and eventually you may find out who your sister is. Another one is you have to help out a village that you've grown up in your life, and those kind of stories. It looks like a wuxia movie or a story like that, but it has a big like Wild West feel at the same time of being a loner or joining up with a group of people through this end journey. There isn't a main antagonist, no, but there are main antagonists through stories and instances in dungeons. The one dungeon was like I said, that one guy who's just been killing people because he's so mad at everybody. He's the antagonist of that story. Another one was a village has been overrun and an old person's telling you the story, and you play on as those heroes in that flashback essentially, and you fight on a group of bandit leaders. Those are those antagonists, but yourself, you don't have an antagonist per se that's revealed right away.
I mean, wow, that actually sounds, very interesting, because I feel like with that kind of way that you're going about the game, it's kind of like you're playing through ancient history and like through small little tales, and you're actually, changing the outcome of what happens. So my next question is a gameplay. Like, with a game of this caliber, people want to have a game that's fluid, the combat's well done, there's a whole bunch of plethora of skills that you can gain, you can do. So what makes this game's combat very special that gamers and online PC players are gonna want to be enthralled with?
There's three things that I think they'll be enthralled with. One is the combat. It's an action combat. In a nutshell, it's rock, paper, scissors. There are your normal, just blunt, straightforward, I'm going to attack you moments, but those can be blocked. So the paper is covering that rock. And my blocks we have parries, where a parry skill activates when I block you. If I successfully block your attack, I can stun you, I can poison you, I can electrify you, or something like that. But for me to get through that paper, I have scissors, which is our feints, which in fencing, you see somebody fake, go, oh, nope, you'll rope it up, or trick them out, and then break that blocking. Now they can't block, then I go right back to my reds. And that's how that kind of trifecta of rock, paper, scissors counters each in the combat. Then we have another cool feature is our offline. When you log out of the game, your character still plays the game. If I log out in a city, my character's still sweeping. He is sweeping the floor, it's yelling, hey, come check out this bank, or come help me out. Then when I log back in, I've got some money because I did a job in the game, I've got some experience. You can log out at your school's temple and do security work, basically, where live players who try to invade your school or steal from your school, your character's now an NPC in that school, and he's going to attack you offline. Now, if I log out in a city, though, there's a greater reward from experience and money because there's so much to do logged out in the city, but I also can get kidnapped by an online player. I see somebody offline, I want to be an evil person, I'm going to kidnap them and sell them and get some evil reputation, maybe a little bit of money here and there, and then I'm on my way. But good players can stop somebody from being kidnapped as well.
So with kidnapping another person's player, when you log back into the game, are you I would assume you're of course gonna be in a different state. So if you're sold into slavery, when you come back in the game, you're gonna be like, whoa, why am I a slave? I wasn't a slave when I left the game. Exactly. What happened now?
Some people have seen not waking up, but logging back in, and they're not where they were. They're outside of a house or a stable, and they have a little status saying, "Oh, you've woken up. You're basically we got caught doing something." There was one version. There was a prostitution ring that people would get sold into. So you wake up and you look right across, and there's the pharmacist with a grin on his face, and you're like, I don't want to know what happened when I logged off. That's a whole nother lifestyle for me right there. You can either work your way out of it, or it's just 30 to 40 an hour wait time until that debuff goes away.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys log off, you might get, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, watch out with the pharmacists, the needles, and drugs. You never know. One too many drinks are gonna end up in somebody's backyard.
I looked over and there's just this old NPC man going, you're gonna get me.
It's like Hubert from Family Guy. Yeah. Oh yeah, guys, hey yeah. Hey there. But So is the game currently out right now?
We have a beta in November and December. If people who can pre-order can get into those 2 betas, and then in February we have an early entry launch. After the betas, those characters get wiped, but in February 1st you can get in there, and for 90 days you can start working away and making your character, you're working at his profession, which I'll tell you about that, that's pretty cool. Working at the profession, working on your guild, and your guild can buy property in the game, so you can go ahead and buy that property before everybody else gets in. Then after 90 days, the floodgates open and everybody else can go ahead and get in there, and you fend for yourself kind of thing.
Wow. So now you just mentioned it. You already get my next question. Talk about the professions. What are the professions?
Like normal free-to-play games, you have an item shop or an item mall. Most of the time it's stuff where you can buy XP or really cool stuff that helps you grow, or what they call pay for power. We don't have that. No. We have a VIP service that you can pay for that's more offline or function and vanity items. The true nitty-gritty comes from our professions. If I am a manufacturer, if I'm a blacksmith, I can make a sword, but I got to interact with everybody else, get ingredients from a craftsman, from a chef, to make a truly great sword. And I can trade my elements with those players to help them out while helping myself out. I mean, I can choose not to be doing any professions and just try to get as much money from kidnapping and then buy somebody else's goods, but it's like a Burning Man economy, like that, the festival Burning Man. People trade their goods for what's going on, so the economy is all community-based.
All right, well, I mean, the game sounds very, very interesting. I mean, Age of Wushu, Jet Li recommends it. If you have Jet Li, Mr., one of the greatest martial artists anybody's seen in a while, with, he's endorsing it. That speaks wonders to this game. So, I mean, is there anything that you haven't told us that we should know about this game?
There's stuff that I don't even know about this game. It's so sandbox and open. I mean, there are bounties you can put on other players. There are weddings in the game. There are schools. You can build your guild on, and you can have dance-offs. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but you can have just big ol' Just Dance Shaolin dance-offs going on.
All right, well, Tyler, I thank you very much for taking this time out to talk to us. Age of Wushu, got betas coming. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming for the game. There's so much stuff that he mentioned that I'm not going to go through because that's a whole nother video in and of itself. But I'm Gregory Laporte from Game of Fit Nation. We're with my man Tyler, talking about Age of Wushu. Peace.
AgeofWushu.com. Thank you.